You have Denise, TK, and you have the one that got cheated with, that I caught John Goods with twice. So at first, I was going to get on here, and this is truthfully. All these people, including the lawyer. First of all, we went to court on Monday. I have been told since last Friday I was not going to be put on the stand. Never. I had a subpoena did come to my mom's address on October the 5th. If we're going to lie, we're not going to lie. We're going to tell the truth. All three parties of John Goods witnesses. So this is how this went. Monday, well, just starting the whole ordeal. Let me go from November the 13th. John cheated on me 5 times. And one of them was with this witness on here, Kelsey, on Winsboro's homecoming night. He told me he was hanging out. I was tired from work. I did not want to go to no homecoming. And plus, I wasn't even asked, did I want to go? I stayed. I said, no, I will stay and watch these children. That's what I did. I got up about 11:30 that night. I got up. In my head, some told me to go to the Western Street house. When I did, this is the first incident. When I did, I caught him and Kelsey in the room, his clothes down. She had no idea. She said, oh, you got a girlfriend. Yeah, he got a girlfriend / fiance. He has both. He screamed, told her to get out. We had sex that night. We stayed there in that house, got up the next morning, went back over to the family house. Okay, that was over. Yes, I have had conversations with Tammy when she was employed with when she worked for me. But Miss Tammy, if you're going to sit here and lie, because when all this
hold on. You can't sit here and go after witnesses. I need you to give me the facts of what happened to you. How did you get the bruises around your neck? Were you raped?
Okay.
How did we end up in court on the battery charge?
Yes, sir.
You can't go after the witnesses and all the stuff about kids eating and all that. I mean, granted, I think you probably feel you need to talk about that, but that's not what we're trying to find out.
Oh, yes, sir.
So trying to focus yourself a little better. What we want to know is about that night.
Okay, so that night.
That all the trouble happened.
Okay, November the 13th.
November the 13th. It kind of sounds like a movie gone wrong. And this entire revocation hearing is like a movie gone wrong, or maybe like a Saturday Night Live skit. It goes from here to there. Now, this man, he seems to have his way with, I don't know, he knows how to, he's got the best milkshake in the yard. That's for sure. He's got 2 attorneys on his behalf. He's got 2 other women. And I'm not quite sure whether the victim is not a victim, is actually here in support. We're going to have to figure this out. Now, he was originally caught in 2017 with, guess what, 2 female co-defendants, at least suspects at the time when he was busted with the devil's lettuce. And then here he is getting caught up again, spending almost a year in jail before finally facing the Parole Revocation Board. And this hearing, it is wild. Now, I promise you one thing, you will never get the next hour and 20 minutes back. So don't tell me that you haven't been warned. Count the number of brain cells you have. You might be missing a few at the end of this hearing. And with that, let's jump in.
All right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is convening at Madison Parish on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. Morning, sir. Could I get the officer there to introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, my name is Carl Kamak. I'm the video conference officer.
Okay, thank you, sir. And this is Mr. Goods?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Goods, good morning. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is John Goods. DOC number is 482478.
And you have counsel, do you have Ms. Bridget Brown there with you this morning?
She's not with me in person, but she's on Zoom. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
She couldn't be here.
Okay, and here we have this Tammy Brown here with us in Baton Rouge. You want to enter your name for the record, ma'am?
Yes, Attorney Tammy Brown here on behalf of Mr. John Goods.
Thank you.
And Chairwoman, this is Bridget Brown. I'd like to enter for the record that I am present. I am in Tallulah. I appeared at the prison this morning, an hour before this hearing was scheduled to start. The warden and two of his employees were very polite, and they escorted me off the premises because they explained to me that they do not allow lawyers to be present next to the inmate while the parole hearing is going on. So they escorted me off the premises and explained to me that I could participate by Zoom, but I was not allowed. So I didn't not show up. And I wanted to be clear that my efforts, and I've done 1,000 of these hearings, I've always gone to the prison, sat next to my client and participated. This morning, I was not allowed to.
Yes, ma'am, I appreciate that. And it's our understanding that Ms. Tammy Brown will be making a presentation. We'll ask her to do so shortly.
Yes.
The case was assigned to Mr. Barra, so I'm going to turn it over to him.
All right, Mr. Good, it's alleged that you have violated the conditions of your parole in the following manner. Number 3, on 12/10/24, you were arrested in Madison County, Mississippi on a warrant issued by Louisiana Probation and Parole and Franklin Sheriff's Office during a stop by the Madison Sheriff's Office. How do you plead to that?
He pleads not guilty.
All right. Also, on or about November 2024, Franklin Parish Sheriff's Office issued a warrant for John Goods on the charges of rape, amended to domestic abuse, battery, second offense, and domestic abuse strangulation. How do you plead to that?
He pleads not guilty.
And you were also arrested for committing obstruction of justice. How do you plead to that?
He pleads not guilty.
All right. So we plead not guilty to everything.
That's correct.
First question is, why were you arrested over there in Madison County?
Mr. Goods, go ahead and explain.
Well, Miss Thornton, my girlfriend, she had tent in her window, and they pulled us over for that reason.
No, he's asking you, why were you in Mississippi?
I was going to my daughter's graduation. She was in college for nursing. I was going to her graduation.
And he wants you to explain why you were there. Who gave you permission to be in Mississippi for the graduation?
Well, my parole officer, Burgess, gave me permission. I asked him prior to going, and he said, it's okay. You can go, Mr. Goods. And so he asked me for a date. And I said, I don't know at the moment, but when the time come, I'll call you and let you know. So I called him on a meeting app, and he said, it's okay, you can go. And right here on this paper, Agent Burgess was questioned by Goods' lawyer regarding the violation. Agent Burgess said he does not recall discussing Goods attending his daughter's graduation, but Agent Burgess said it is possible he told Goods it would not be a problem for him to attend graduation. Agent Burgess came to my house. I don't remember what date. And he told me, Goods, there's no problem. Then me and Agent Burgess started talking about our problems. He had problems with his wife or whatnot. Then I talked about my problems. And I had my kids. I had 2 of my kids. We laughed, say they're going to be okay and whatnot. And I said, Agent Burgess, my daughter is graduating for college and I need to go. He said, man, ain't no problem. Go. But he did say what the date. I didn't know the exact date. And Miss Thornton, she was there. And she is a witness to that. In his paper, you know what I'm saying, he admitted that it was possible on the
Right.
hearing and recommendation.
Keep reading the next line after you said he would not be a problem for the attend graduation. Read the next
He
line.
said, however, Agent Bergen said he would have told Good to report to our office before he left to get a permit. The
Did
Agent
you go
Bergen
and
said,
get a permit?
sir,
Did you go get the permit?
he never told me to come get one. He never told me to come get one. He just said it's okay to go. And
So
whatever Agent
you
Bergen
didn't know
said,
you needed a travel permit to go out of state?
did I know? Yes, sir.
Well, that's kind of what the point of the argument is. You know, he said, I would have let you go, but you would have needed a permit. I mean, and that's what you signed on your conditions of parole that says you're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
have, you know, that's the problem right there in itself.
Yes, sir. But I just doing what he said.
All right. So let's talk about the next thing where it says, they issued a warrant for you for rape, and then you got reduced to amended from second offense, domestic abuse battery, and domestic abuse strangulation. What happened there?
Tonight at the house, where I call like fun house, at my mother's house, I get a call from my girlfriend, my fiance, Miss Thornton, and she wanted me there with her. And I was with someone else. Miss other name, Miss Quosha Robinson and Kelsey Heckert, two women that was there with me at the time. And when I stopped answering Miss Thornton's phone, she started to come. She come to Winsbury. She have a key. She came in while we was in the kitchen, sitting down talking. And Miss Thornton came in, and I was trying to see who was at the door. And she was like, oh, I know that effing girl Kelsey in there, because they her birthday. And she started putting on my shirt, put my shirt up, and she started punching on me. And I'm falling, going back, and I never hit her at all. And so the girl Quosha was like, let me go home. I don't got time for this nonsense. Kelsey took out running the room. And when I left to take Quosha home, and then I come back, Gigi was still there. Miss Thornton was still there. And she was like, I'm sick of this shit. All you do is cheat on me. This the fifth woman. And I'm like, baby, chill out. Just chill out. We was just talking. We wasn't doing nothing. We was just talking. And she like, I'm sick of this shit. I can't take it. And then I said, baby, chill out. Everything is good. And then we sat down, and then we started talking. And next thing you know, we started having sex. And then we go from the front room to the bedroom. And as we was in the bedroom, the door was still open. And we started making love. And she moaned and said, baby, why are you doing this? I love you. And I said, I love you too. And we had good sex. Miss Kelsey, she passed through or whatnot, because normally we used to do threesomes. But me and Kelsey and Miss Thornton never did a threesome together. And so as the night passed, probably about maybe 2:00, not for sure. Me and Miss Thornton, we left out. I asked her, was she gonna come spend the night with me at the house? 3302 Earl Drive. She said, no, I'm going home. I said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. So as we walking out, Miss Kelsey Heckle was in the front room, sitting down. And I think Miss Gigi said, So as we walking out, I opened the door for her. She left and went her way back to Monroe, and I went home.
So you're saying that everything was consensual and Miss Thornton is lying about all of that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And condition number 4, that you're arrested for obstruction of justice, and that stems from phone calls you were making to the victim that they were recording to try to influence the outcome of that trial. What do you got to say about that?
Well, that Miss Thornton, she have a sickness problem that I do know of, and sometimes she flips, and I had to call my homeboy like, man, what is the sickness? His mom, his daughter have the same kind of sickness. Say, John, man, you gotta be able to know what I'm saying, to learn up on it first. Then you can be able to cope with them. If she ain't taking her medicine, know what I'm saying, that medicine not working, she need a higher doses. So I'm telling my baby, I said, baby, make sure you take your medicine. Because when she take her medicine, she calm, she nice, she happy. But when she off her medicine,
Let me interrupt you. I didn't ask you about her medicine. I asked you about the obstruction of justice with the phone calls from the detention centers. Did you make those phone calls? What was the point?
We both were calling each other. Yes, I called her at the time, but I was never told that it was, no, I had a restraining order against her. I was told to after everything, when I was indicted. That's when they put I guess I never seen nothing of no restraining order. I never seen a piece of paper. No one never told me nothing about that. So I don't understand how I got obstruction of justice. You know what I'm saying, when I'm just trying to help my girlfriend to pass her being stressed out, being confused, because her lawyer told her, you know what I'm saying, not to go to the grand jury. Her doctor told her not to go. I didn't understand where this obstruction of justice come from. So I get a call from the judge, sir.
It comes from when Deputy Touchette listened to the phone calls and indicated that the nature of the phone calls indicated that Good was trying to sway or influence the victim's testimony for the upcoming court proceedings. So that's where the obstruction of justice. You were trying to tell her what she should do or influence her to how to testify at the upcoming, and that was considered obstruction of justice.
If you listen to the whole conversation, you will see it was no obstruction of justice. You will see that I was kind of console her. If you listen to every section of the tapes, and then they ain't only got the tapes, you know what I'm saying, where I told her, it's gonna be okay, baby. You don't have to go if you don't want to go, because your lawyer already told you so. I was saying on that point, not because of me, because at that point, if you listen, it was another tape recording saying when her lawyer was on the phone, I told her, baby, just go. I said, go. I said, go ahead, tell the truth. That's what I told her. If you listen to all the tapes, I guarantee you, it was set up and designed to put me in incarceration. At never time I was trying to stop her from going. Only to console her, sir and ma'am. Only to console her. I promise, if y'all listen to them tapes, the whole tape, all of them, and you will see that I'm telling her, ma'am, the GG, do as you please. I can't make you go. I can't stop you from going. Your lawyer told you not to go. Your lawyer told you to plead the fifth. And you will see on her papers, the lawyer sent to the DA. And even the DA told her she didn't have to come. But when she got up there with my father, they said that you come sign a paper and we'll get off the case. But they then pursue to get her a summons to come to the grand jury. She chose not to go. I basically want her to go to tell the truth, because I want my name cleared. I want my name cleared. These people came in with a plea that, know what I'm saying, with no contest. If I was guilty, I would have took that plea. I took that plea. All I did 20.
Deputy Tuchet that listened to the calls and made this statement that the calls indicated Goods was trying to sway or influence the victim's testimony in the upcoming court proceedings. He lied too?
Say it again, sir.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, Deputy Tuchet listened to the phone calls and indicated that the nature of the phone calls that Good was trying to sway or influence the victim's testimony. Were you trying to sway or influence the testimony?
Sir.
Did you say, no, you shouldn't testify? That's what I'm getting at. You know, you
No,
keep going
sir.
around it.
I only was trying to console her. I said, you would be, because she didn't want to come. She said she's scared of Winsburg. She tried many times to come and drop charges. Even her lawyer came to do a drop slip. And these people, and then I was not indicted. And then
You keep going back to the same thing.
Come on.
I'm
Oh.
still on the obstruction of justice. I'm on the phone call. When you talk to her on the phone, what did you tell her? You tried to console her. The deputy says you tried to influence her. Two different things.
No, sir, I did not.
Totally different things.
No, sir, I did not try to influence her. No, sir.
Yeah, that's at the end of that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
understand. All right. All right. Did you end up getting found guilty at a trial for these charges?
Yes, sir.
No,
How can you still be? Go ahead.
no, the trial was on, violation of, a protective order and for, simple, failure of a.
So they were reduced charges that he found
They were
guilty of.
reduced to misdemeanors.
You were his lawyer for them?
Yes, yes, I was one of the attorneys.
Did you advise him he could be revoked for those charges?
Prior to, the trial.
Okay. And he pled anyway.
Okay.
Well, he
And
didn't
he
plead, he
pled,
was found guilty.
found guilty. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any more questions at this time. Let's hear from go ahead, Ms. Tammy, you go ahead.
Well, I will, let the witnesses speak first.
All right.
And I'll speak again.
We have
We have.
Tammy Warren. Ms. Warren, go ahead and tell us what you have to tell us.
She needs to unmute her. She needs to unmute her phone. She doesn't know she needs to unmute her phone.
Okay.
You can speak.
Yes, I'm Tammy Warren.
All right, will you go ahead and tell us what you have to tell us about Mr. John Goods?
I'm a ex-co-worker's Miss Thornton. And Miss Thornton has been telling me off and on things about her and Mr. Good's relationship. I'm an ex-employee with her. And Miss Thornton will always bring their outside business to work. So I told her to discuss that at home. She looks up to me, you know, and I tell her different things. So when all this occurred, she told me, she said, I'm going to help Lil John. I say, help him on what? What's going on? And that's when she permits to tell me about the rape. And I say, how do your man rape you when you stay with him? You know, and she was upset about that. And I say, why did you go to the hospital if you're going to help a person? Some lies are being told. And she say, I don't have a reason to lie. I'm just going to cut Lil John off. I say, well, do that and leave your outside business out. Then she go back and forth with me for a minute. We was at work. I was working with her at the time. And we go back and forth, and me and her sit on the phone and talk for hours. She was upset easily when he's go talk to other women's, or she can't reach him, or you see another side of her. Her whole personality changed when she can't get a hold of him. And I used to tell her, that's not the way to go, Gigi. She said, well, he's stressing me out. I said, you're stressing yourself. Me and her would have late night conversations. And she said, I'm going to help him. Now, this is what she told me. Then she'll go back into a state of mind and say, you know, hey, I'm just going to cut this off. So all of this occurred. And when, like I told her, if you're going to cut a person off, don't lie to cut them off. That's just not going to make it. Just cut it off. And she could not do it. She'll call me another night and say she caught him with another woman. She's seen him. She's not in Winsboro. She's not going back. And what she's not going to do, but she turn around the next day and do the same thing. She go back to Winsboro from work. She'd be late sometime coming to work, you know, from arguing and bickering. And I told her, I said, well, you stay in Monroe and leave him where he lives. But she couldn't do it.
Ms. Warren, this is Attorney Tammy Brown. Did Gigi tell you that Mr. Goods did not refer?
Yes.
Did she speak with you about going over state lines?
She told me, yeah, she went on to the graduation. She said that she called me and said that they had arrested Lil John and that she went on to the baby graduation, which was his daughter.
Did she tell you anything about her and her sister's plan for him to go across state lines with her after he had a warrant, after she had put a warrant out for him?
She didn't tell me anything until the day they got caught. And I said, well, why did they stop you? And she said the tint on her window. And I said, well, why would they question him about anything if it's your tint? And she said, I don't know. And I said, that don't sound right.
Did she tell you anything about the affidavits that she typed up?
Yeah, she told me about it. She told me before she did it.
Okay, and what did she type up the affidavits to say? Do you know?
I don't know what she said, but when she called me, she said about the affidavits. We spoke on that. And she said the attorney was charging her too much to do the work. And I say, oh, okay. I said, well, who did you go to? And she said, Manny, but they all wants to charge too much. I can do that myself. I can go to the library and do it myself. And she went on North 18th Street in Monroe and she did it herself.
So she wasn't pressured to draft the affidavit. She typed it up herself.
She typed it up herself. She said she can do it herself. She's not going to pay them all that money to do a piece of paper she can do herself.
So whenever she was telling you at the beginning, you said she told you she was being, did you believe that she was being raped at that time?
No. I asked the question, if Lil John raped you, why there was no semen? And she said, I took a shower. I say, well, Gigi, that don't sound right. I say, that is a lie. I say, you are back and forth with this here deal talking about Lil John when you upset. And my words to her as a woman, I say, if he raped you, his semen should have been inside of you. She say, I showered. I say, but his semen do not leave you within 5 minutes. I said, you call about everything else. Why you didn't call me then? She said, I called my mother.
Tammy, did Gigi ever say that if she couldn't have Lil John, that no one would, and she would rather stay in jail?
Yeah, she said she's not gonna play with him. She said, I'm not gonna play with Lil John. That was her main conversation at work. She's not, when I was employed with her, she's not gonna, play with him anymore. Then when I quit and I moved on to another job, and that's her words. And she said, I'm gonna stop playing with Lil John. I'm gonna show him.
Do you know anything about her driving Lil John's father around and going to pick him up and bringing him with her to the courthouse?
No, not Monday. She didn't discuss that Mr. John's father was with her Monday. She contacted me Monday and told me that she was going to court in Winsboro, that she had a subpoena issued in the mail. I said, you cannot issue a legal document in the mail, Gigi. I say, are you okay? She said, well, it came to Arkansas to my mother's house. And I said, well, if you live in Monroe, why would they send a subpoena to Arkansas? I said, they can't mail that document. She said, well, I got it. When she attended to, she said, oh, well, I got it. I said, okay. So we didn't argue about that. The only thing me and her bickered about was Monday.
We're getting off the violation course right here. I pretty much heard everything I need to hear right from her. Let's move on to the next person. Ms. Kelsey Hecker.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you have to tell us regarding Mr. Goods and what you know about the violations?
I can say the only thing I can speak on is us being at the house, his family house, and me seeing everything that day. When we was at the family house, he had a girl named Quosha over there. I'm always there because if he need me to go somewhere, run and go, do for his son or something, I'm who he call on. I'm who he call on for anything, like to run to the grocery store, do anything for him. So I'm always at his house. And he had a girl named Quosha Richardson over there that night. And we heard the door unrambling, like somebody trying to get in. I don't know if she was getting in with the key or what. But Gigi ended up getting in the house, and she just started going out. She started saying, "Oh, you cheating on me with the," which wasn't nobody doing nothing. We was just sitting in the kitchen. And she started pulling on his shirt, and he kept telling her to leave. She wouldn't leave. And this not the first time, this the second time that she done came and did this. He'll be like, Gigi, leave, just leave, or whatever. She wouldn't leave. So the girl Quosha Richardson, she wanted to go home, and he took her home or whatever. Gigi stayed there. I went in the back room, and when he came back, Gigi, they didn't shut the room door. I came out the room door and walked down the hall. Gigi was on top of him, but she said that he there. How could you give someone if you getting on? How could you give if you on top of someone? You moaning saying why you cheating on me and you love him and all that. So as I'm walking past the hall, I see all that. I go sit in the living room. Like a couple minutes come by, she come out. They didn't look like they had been into it. Like she just was happy that she had got the love from him or whatever. And she walked, I guess she didn't like that she seen me sitting on the living room couch or whatever. And she had walked by, she said, So he just let her out and she left. And that was that.
Ms. Hecker, did you ever hear, Mr. Goods threaten, Ms. Thornton, or who you're referring to as Gigi?
No, she was, when he made it back from dropping Quosha off, it's like she was happy that she had him back to herself. Like she wasn't on none of that. Like when she first came in and seen the girl Quosha in there, she like how she was flashing out. Then when he came back by himself, she was all calm and cool. She wasn't on nothing. She was lovey-dovey.
Did you ever hear her say no, or that she did not want to have sex?
No.
Did you hear them tussling or arguing or any of that when they were in the bedroom?
No.
Did you hear him or see him pull her hair or any of those things, or hit her or anything?
No, when she came out the room, her hair or nothing wasn't messed up or anything. It's like soon as he came back from dropping that girl off, she was lovey-dovey. It's like she was happy that she had him to herself again. It's like if she seen him with a female, she would flash, she would lose her mind. Like this woman would go crazy if he wouldn't answer the phone, if he wouldn't, she couldn't get in contact, she would just go crazy. But it's like when he came back there and she had him to himself, she was all calm. It wasn't no fussing, no fighting, no nothing. They was making love.
All right, we'll accept that. Can we hear from Ms. Tykia Ponder?
Yes, sir.
What do you have to tell us relevant to the charges and violations of?
I don't know.
We already established that they had sex. We've already established that it's questionable if it was consensual or not, but we still have the victim actually to hear from too.
I don't know. Me and Gigi normally we talk on a daily basis. Like
Okay.
she vent to me, she's do all of this. We vent to each other at that. But me and her, we normally talk. And normally when she texts me about John Goods. She texts me about him, telling me how she missed him, this and that. She was wrong for doing what she did, or stuff like that. And normally, she'll call me, up on this hearing stuff. She let me know and told me what she was gonna do with this today and everything like that. But normally, like this, I don't know.
What did she tell you she was gonna do today?
She said she was gonna hold up. Let me go to it.
Did she send you a text message?
Yes, ma'am. She said, I only called due to the board had contacted me. You can update your family and if Lee John called. They asked me if I wanted him to be revoked. My answer was no. They said would I get on the hearing Tuesday and let the board know. I told them yes. Like I told him, I didn't like how they set me up Monday, but I am not upset as I was, but I am willing to get on there.
Do you know anything about Miss Thornton, or who you're referring to as Gigi, contacting Mr. Good's family?
I'm one of the family. She contact me normally.
And has she been reaching out, trying to get in contact with family members and have them to call her?
Yes, ma'am. She hold up. She contacted ma'am.
What about her contacting his dad or trying to get the dad to contact her?
Yes, ma'am. She normally go pick him up.
Does he drive?
No, ma'am. She drive him.
So when he would come to court with her, she would have had to pick him up and bring him to the courthouse or bring him to court?
Yes, ma'am. She texted me the other day and she was like, hi. I was trying to get in touch with her because she didn't answer. So maybe if you call her and I can talk. There was my other cousin, Kale. And then they said on the phone, she would screenshot me that they was on the phone. They talked on the phone for like 2 hours long. She was just venting. That's all she was doing. She said she need her partner back. She was wrong for what she did. She did not mean to go that way. She did not know that it was gonna end up this far.
Did family members pressure her?
No, ma'am, we don't.
You okay?
Ms. Ponder, does she normally lie to you? Tell you false stories, or is?
See, y'all had a court thing happen last week. What she told me was different from what I'm hearing from everybody else in the court. All she told me was the lawyer turned on her. I don't know how the lawyer turned on her. She said she never knew she was supposed to get on that stand.
But in your relationship with her, is she normally reliable? Does she normally tell you the truth, or do you find out she's lying later on?
I found out she started lying later on. Me and her, we normally talk until I found out some of the stuff she tell me will be a lie. Cause I hear the other folks' opinion about it, and they were like, no, that's not what happened. Just like what happened in court. She told me one thing, but with the people that was hearing it up in court, they said what was said in court.
All right. I think that's all we need from you. We have her, so I think we might as well hear from her.
Let's hear from the attorney first.
Well,
She's a victim or not?
No, Miss Thornton first.
Well, wait. We decide who goes when. I mean, she's listed as a victim. Is she the victim or is she in favor?
We don't know.
She
We don't know what she's gonna say today.
according to the messages that she sent to Ms. Ponder and some of the other family members, she is
Okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
Ms. Shalana,
Good evening. Good morning.
why don't you go ahead and tell us what really happened?
Okay, so basically, you have Tammy Gooding, you have Denise, TK, and you have the one that got cheated that I called John Goods with twice. So at first, I was going to get on here, and this is truthfully. All these people, including the lawyer. First of all, we went to court on Monday. I have been told since last Friday I was not going to be put on the stand. Never. I had a subpoena did come to my mom's address on October the 5th. I was there seeing about my mental challenged uncles. My grandmother has dementia. She's placed in a nursing home. So I oversee those two uncles. So I was there getting groceries, paying their bills for the month. When I was there, my mother called me and said, the mail carrier has a certified letter. I went and tried to find our root carrier. When I tried to find the root carrier, I couldn't find her. So I went back to the post office. My cousin worked there, but she wasn't present in the front of the building that morning. So the other lady basically told me, Shalana, here's the certified letter, but you got to sign for it. At that point, I did not know was the certified letter, where it came from, who it was from, nothing. So I had to sign for it. When I signed for it, I looked at it. It said Franklin Parish Courthouse. I immediately opened it. When I opened it, it was a subpoena. I contacted Major Wally, which was his best friend. That is the only person I have been talking to of 2025 for the last 4-5 months. If we're going to lie, we're not going to lie. We're going to tell the truth. All three parties of John Good's witnesses. So this is how this went. Monday, well, just starting the whole ordeal. Let me go from November the 13th. Yes, I have issues with anxiety and depression. I was diagnosed with that in 2018. I lost my grandmother. She was like a mother and a grandmother that raised me when my mom was living in Illinois. So I was a grandparent child my whole life. So when I lost my grandmother, I went in a state of depression. I ended up moving to Sterling, Louisiana, like 4 years ago. Never knew anything about John Goods. I came out of a domestic relationship with another individual. This individual was cheating, had people in my vehicle. I told John Goods certain things that nobody knew. Only me and John Goods, because I confided in him. I confided in him only due to the fact that I had found someone that was true to me. I watched this man he has 5 kids, provided. My 3 children are grown. I was doing things that I didn't have to do. When I came in this relationship, I never knew anything about John Goods' past. When I'm in a relationship with somebody, I don't care what their past is. I see for myself. Down through the relationship, when I see for myself, I had to see for myself. John cheated on me 5 times. And one of them was with this witness on here, Kelsey Hacker, on Winsboro's homecoming night. He told me he was hanging out. I was tired from work. I did not want to go to no homecoming. And plus, I wasn't even asked, did I want to go? I stayed. I said, no, I will stay and watch these children. That's what I did. So there was a nephew in the living room. That nephew he's real picky on what he eats. So he was just up crying the whole time. So when he was crying, I got up and I asked the baby, are you hungry? I got up about 11:30 that night. I got up. In my head, some told me to go to the Western Street house. When I did, this is the first incident. When I did, I caught him and Kelsey in the room, his clothes down. She had no idea. She said, oh, you got a girlfriend. Yeah, he got a girlfriend / fiance. He has both. He screamed, told her to get out. We had sex that night. We stayed there in that house, get up the next morning, went back over to the family house. Okay, that was over. Yes, I have had conversations with Tammy Gooden when she was employed with when she worked for me. But Miss Tammy, if you're going to sit here and lie, because when all this
Hold on. You can't sit here and go after witnesses. I need you to give me the facts of what happened to you. How did you get the bruises around your neck? Where you?
Okay.
How did we end up in court on the
So
battery charge?
Yes, sir.
You can't go after the witnesses and all the stuff about kids eating and all that. I mean, granted, I think you probably feel you need to talk about that, but that's not what we're trying to find out.
Oh, yes, sir.
So
I
trying to
understand.
focus yourself a little better. What we want to know is about that night.
Okay, so that night,
That all the trouble happened.
okay, November the 13th.
Right.
John Goods had came to Monroe basically on November the 12th that morning. I mean, that midday. He came, he said, baby, we good. We back together. He wanted to have sex that night. I told him no. So that particular evening, he told me he was going to work on the house that he had purchased. And basically I said, okay, I'm going to take a nap and go to sleep. When I woke up, it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I started calling his phone by FaceTime. I started calling his phone by regular phone call. And basically he wouldn't answer. So at that point in time, I got up. I took myself to Winsboro, went to the house on Western Street. This was early morning 13th. When I did go in, I let myself in with a key. When I did go in, he met me in the living room. When he met me in the living room, I heard another voice. It was not Kelsey Hacker. So when I went towards the from the living room to the kitchen, there was a dark-skinned girl. At that point in time, I did not know who she was. When she said, John, I didn't come over here for that. I said, my beef is not with you. My beef is with him because you can only allow what he allow you to do. So I kept asking him, like, why would you keep on doing this same stuff? And he kept saying, baby, I'm sorry. We ain't doing that. We in the kitchen just talking. I said, Lil John, I don't believe you. And I said, the girl came to the living room. We back in the living room now. The girl came to the living room. Lil John just gonna take me home. I said, if he don't take you home, I'll take you home. I said, but you could just have a seat right here. I said, because I don't have anything to hide when I'm talking to him. So basically, he kept on saying, man, because I told him, I said, if you do not give me the answers that I want while you steady keep on doing this cheating and this having on women.
I ask you a question. Did your son put in a medical request to see the nurse?
It's good. Keep going.
Keep going.
You're talking to me?
Can you hold on? Can you hold on one more? Just hold on 1 second.
Keep on telling us your version of the story. John, you need to be quiet right now. It's not your turn.
It's somebody at the facility.
Whose turn is that? Who's talking?
I think that's the, somebody.
It's not John.
All right, disregard the background noise. Finish with your story.
Okay, so basically we're in the living room. The girl ended up walking out the house. She got in the truck and he said, I'm just finna take her home, Gigi. I'm finna take her home. I said, okay, if you don't come back, I'm about to call Kevin Cobbs. And he already knew I was gonna call Kevin Cobbs. So at that point in time, he did come back. We had a conversation. We were in the kitchen. At that point in time, when he was gone, I walked that whole house. I walked the whole house. Only room I did not go in was the room that he was still fixing on was the master bedroom. And I went to the bathroom because I had to use the bathroom. So the door to the bathroom was open, so it wasn't nobody in there. So if they was in there, it was in the closet. So basically, when I did come back to the living room, he wasn't in the house at that point in time. When I came back to the living room, he had came back from bringing the dark-skinned girl home. And so we came into the living room, had a conversation. He was getting irate. And I said, won't you just calm down? I said, I didn't got calm, won't you calm down? So we both went to the living room. He wanted to have sex. And I told him, no, I don't want to have sex because it's not going to make the problems go away that you're doing. So basically at that point, he did go to the, went from the living room to the room. I asked him several times, basically, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He said, baby, you my main woman. You my main woman. I told you I wasn't leaving. I said, okay. And I still didn't want to have sex, but we had it anyway. So at the end of the day, when we did leave, Kelsey Hacker was nowhere in no living room. So I don't know where that came from. That must be a story that they're making up. But Kelsey Hacker, she was not in no living room. I never made no hump. I never said none of that. This camera's all in this house. So if I said that, and if she was in that living room, then the camera should have picked her up in the living room, because I know exactly where the cameras were. So at that point, me and John Goods only left that house. Kelsey Hacker was never in the living room. And we left. I followed him back over to the family house. And when I did watch and make sure he was parked, I drove myself back home. So we had a little tussle during that night. Now, I do have to be honest. He never put his hands on me. I pushed him. I tore his shirt on that point. But anything else with a medical condition saying that I called you this past week, or I tried to talk to you or tell you this or tell you that, no, that's not the truth. And the only reason why I picked Mr. John Martin up is because he doesn't have a car. Mr. John has never did anything to me, never did no kind of harm to me. He just wanted to be involved because of me and his son. He calls me his daughter-in-law. This man done ate at my table. I done ate at his. He done bought me food, etc. But this man has never did anything to me, so I don't even know where that came from. I never said that a family member threatened me, and I've never tried to contact a family member even after this. I just had family members calling me, asking me how the case went. And I was told,
I got a question for you. I got a question. You told the police a different story than what you're telling us right now, correct? And you told them that he
when I told the police what,
and you had them photograph pictures of your neck. Your neck's all bruised.
Correct.
You looked at the photographs. How did all that happen? What happened? Why did you tell
how my neck got real red? When my neck was real for nails, I wear artificial nails, and I was scratching. And basically, you know, when John was pushing me back, just so, like I said, when he was pushing me back, he basically did not hit me. He basically was just trying to move me away from it. So that part is how the scratch got on my neck, the little bruise. But at that point, when we were in the bedroom, we call it rough sex. His hands went around my neck. So some of that could have been or couldn't have not been. I just know his hands was around my neck in the bedroom. We call it rough sex. So basically, that's why those marks were on my neck. And when I said I never told the police that it was rape. The police told me all sex, anal sex. He said something about consensual sex is considered. I was in a vulnerable stage at that point where I was on my medication. I was on pain medicine for my leg. And basically, when I did contact Winsboro Police Department, the first thing I said, I want to report when my sister told me, you need to tell them that y'all had an altercation or y'all had a disagreement. That's what I told Marvin Scott. Marvin Scott started telling me about his previous history, how he sell drugs, etc. And basically I said, that's not my position of calling you. My position is only to call you to let you know what altercation we had. So basically, he told me, well, I got to call the sheriff's department because I told him I didn't want to talk to you because you related to the family, and I didn't. So basically, that's when he told me that I needed to there would be somebody calling me later on. I was at work. He told me that somebody else would call me later on that night. I really, at that point, had told my god brother I didn't want to do anything else with this. There was never a conversation with the police until 8 o'clock that night. I had already been talking to Goods prior to a police even contacting me. Those two sheriffs investigators that was contacting me kept calling me, kept saying, Miss Thornton, we need you to come in. We need you to come in. They was pressuring me to come in. They was like, basically, this the only way you're going to get closure. I don't know what kind of...
Let me ask you a question, okay? Because we're getting way off track here. First off, what about the gun in the drawer?
Basically, how that picture came to me was by his ex-girlfriend, Jada Gaines. Jada Gaines was upset with John Goods prior to him dating me. Basically, she sent that picture to my phone, and I basically sent it to him and told him, this. I said, if you don't call me back, basically, I sent him that picture showing basically what she sent me. I don't know.
He kept a gun in that drawer, but he didn't pull it? He kept a gun there, but he didn't pull it?
No, no gun was pulled on me.
Okay, but there usually was a gun in that drawer, though. That's why you were scared?
Basically, I never even knew a gun was in the drawer. The picture was given to me. So I can't say if Jada was over there, the picture was over there. I mean, the gun was in there or not. I just know what she sent me.
All right.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate you testifying for us. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to the attorney.
This is Attorney Bridget Brown. 6 months ago, I was sitting in my office with my doors open for business like everybody else. I've been practicing law 38 years. A young lady contacts me and tells me that her boyfriend is in jail for a charge because she exaggerated some conditions about their relationship to the police, and that the police were angry with him about some other things, so they used her exaggeration as a reason to pick him up. I didn't know any of the parties in this case. I live in Alexandria, which is 2.5 hours away from where we are today. That young lady also told me that even though she initially cried to the police, she hired 3 lawyers and executed 3 affidavits notifying them that she had not been raped and she did not want to go through with these charges. She even produced for me a letter from the district attorney's office where they said to her, if you don't want to proceed with these charges, please don't come to the grand jury proceeding and notify us that you're not coming. She didn't just notify them that she wasn't coming and she didn't want to proceed. She hired 3 lawyers who executed affidavits for her. And I stand corrected. She hired 2 lawyers who executed affidavits for her, and she personally executed her own affidavit saying that these things weren't true and that she wasn't going to go through and she wasn't going to appear at the grand jury. Slightly after that, she got a notice from the district attorney's office that she hadn't shown up for a subpoena with the grand jury and they were going to indict her. And based on that, I think that Ms. Thornton is telling you this morning that she was afraid of the district attorney's office. I don't know any of these people. I'm practicing law. They come into my office with the information I get. But she was adamant, like many women are in domestic situations, that she was going to testify that he didn't do anything to her. I didn't know that she was truthful about this, even with the affidavits, until we had the preliminary parole hearing at the prison in Winsboro, in Catahoula, I'm sorry, in front of 2 parole officers. She testified just to what she testified to today. Nobody beat me. I never saw any gun. We had a disagreement. And she testified that I was present when the parole officer told him he could go to Mississippi to his daughter's graduation as long as he was coming back, no problem. That is how she testified at the parole hearing inside the prison. And so I used to have a question in my mind as to why DAs didn't charge certain crimes. That was cleared up in this case because the charge went from rape to violation of a condition of bond. Mr. Goods never got out on bond. The bond condition set in the record says, if you get out, you cannot contact Ms. Thornton. He and Ms. Thornton talked all the time. when I asked if there was any type of restraining order or prohibition against them contacting each other, Ms. Thornton brought to me the third affidavit from her lawyer saying, I never asked for a prohibition against talking to Mr. Goods. I don't want that to happen. I want to contact him. I want to talk to him. So imagine my sheer shock at the trial on this past Monday when she got on the witness stand and said that his family and I had threatened her and that we had made certain allegations against her to force her to not either appear at a hearing. I'm an officer of the court. I don't encourage people not to follow the law. I have practiced law for 38 years. My reputation stands for itself. So when she came into court and started explaining that she was changing her story back to what she told the police, she said, it's because you encouraged me to not come. You encouraged me to lie. I don't do that. That's called suborning perjury. So when we get to the hearing, the charge goes down from to obstruction of justice to violating a prohibition against contacting the victim if he gets out on bond. Mr. Goods has been in jail for 11 months. He has never bonded out. There was never there was no way for him to contact her except her calling into the jail. When we put that evidence on the stand from the officer who you named earlier, that I said, well, how can he get in touch with her? He's in jail. The response was he's in jail, and she's contacting him. And her story at that point was the family is contacting me and pushing me into changing my story. So the gentleman on to your left, Madam Chairwoman, who to your right, who said to you, well, we decide who talks here. You're correct. Let her talk. What is she going to say? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know coming into this hearing this morning what she was going to say because I have had several different visions and different sections of the story. And because of these missed stories and changes in stories, the district attorney's office, the morning of the trial, where I'm a trial lawyer. I'm prepared to pick a case and try a jury of 12 people who have to agree. So on that particular day, they could walk into the court that morning of court and say, we've decided to reduce the charge from obstruction of justice, him contacting her, which was not one of the charges he went to trial on, but violation of a condition of bond. He never got out. He stayed in jail for 11 months. And so when the second one was he contacted her while he was in jail, and simple battery of a dating partner. She just explained to you that there was no simple battery of a dating partner. That she was brokenhearted about some of the women he had dated while he was supposed to be committed to her. So in that vein, the obstruction of justice charge, they never went through with it. They dismissed it that morning. The simple battery of a dating partner. This is the first time she said, no, this is the third time she said he didn't batter me. The first time she went to the police, she said he did. And so the other allegation of, did he go to Mississippi without a travel permit? Sure, he says that he got permission from his parole officer, a parole officer who he had a outstanding record with, no problems, prior to this incident. So on the three allegations that we're here for today, obstruction of justice, they didn't put any conviction on him for obstruction of justice, persuading a person not to come to court. You have the letter from the district attorney as an exhibit there. You have the letter from the district attorney saying you don't have to come to the grand jury proceeding. On the second allegation, reduce a simple battery of a dating partner, she just told you that it didn't occur. And then on the did he go to Mississippi without a permit? He got oral permission from his parole officer in front of his Gigi Thornton. And she was our witness on whether he got permission to go. That was an issue at the parole hearing, at the preliminary parole hearing. It was not an issue at trial. So I will say this to you. Mr. Goods has been in jail now for 11 months. And he was adamant no matter what they offered, I want to go to trial and clear my name. So, and here we are again. And today is the first time since the 3 different versions of the story that I understand why the district attorney's office would not pursue it, why they were coming to a major felony trial the morning of the trial and reduce it to 2 misdemeanors, and why the allegation of obstruction of justice was not pursued, because they did play 3 tapes in court, and on those 3 tapes are Miss Gigi Thornton, her lawyer, and Mr. Goods. And I have said from the very beginning, I represent Mr. Goods. I don't represent the other parties involved in this. And so what we had was a woman scorned. Miss Thornton got on the stand and said that everybody was threatening her and his family was threatening her. My thought is, here are 2 exhibits with which we produced this morning showing she has contacted them consistently and incessantly. The family members that she contends threaten her since we left that trial on Monday. There's a text message which she sent to witness number 2 where she's saying, I'm going to go and tell them that I don't want Mr. Goods revoked. I want, I want to leave all this behind me. I don't know what the story will be tomorrow, but that's what it is today. And then there's a second thing there, a second text there, which proves everything that Ms. Thornton said this morning is true. There's a text where she says to him, "You're not calling me back. I'm upset that you dealt with these other women. You would not call me back, but if you don't call me back in 10 minutes, you're going to see how I move." That was the most, and it was after the district attorney's office gave me that text that I realized, well, that's why they're not pursuing me, because she's threatening him before the arrest. And in the car going to Mississippi, when they stopped her for her tip, Miss Thornton was in the driver's seat. He was on the passenger side. So there was no threat of harm to her, no obstruction of justice to her, no threatening of a dating partner. And for the record, Mr. Goods filed a motion to reconsider sentence. Now, this board is well aware that a felony trial involves 12 jurors. A misdemeanor charge, you're only allowed to have a bench trial. And so we were trying as best we could to avoid a bench trial because I wanted to be able to present all this evidence before a jury. When you get to a bench trial, the district attorney's office only needed the judge to find him guilty of something so we could come before this board, which we've been trying to get to for months, to come before this board and explain he didn't do anything to Ms. Thornton. And for 11 months of his life, he's been there. To that extent, I filed a motion to reconsider sentence. The day after, I filed a motion for a new trial, a motion to reconsider sentence. I cannot file the notice of appeal until the judge rules on the motion to reconsider sentence. But we have the motion to reconsider sentence. The stamp copy is going to let you know he plans to appeal and clear his name on these 2 misdemeanor charges. We're asking this board to give him the same sentence that the judge gave him. You've been in jail 12 months, Mr. Goods, because this all happened November 10th of last year. He was arrested. You've been in jail 12 months. I'm going to give you 6 months on the first misdemeanor, 6 months on the second, and you go down to the parole board and take your chances. So as I said, we're asking this board in our position paper, we asked this board to give him 9 months on everything with credit for time served, so this matter can be placed behind Ms. Gigi Thornton and Mr. Goods.
Thanks. All right. Anybody else has any questions?
I move for an executive session.
All right. Okay.
Byron,
Yes.
Renata,
Yes.
Freeman.
Yes.
And I think we go back in the regular session.
Second.
Yeah.
Right, I don't see any, I think that concludes our business. I think we're prepared to vote, Mr. Byron.
All right, Mr. Good. Today I'm going to vote to not revoke your probation. Parole. And I'm gonna add a special condition that you complete anger management, matters intervention, those type of programs once you're released. And that you have absolutely no contact with Shalane Thornton. Cannot go within a mile of her.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Freeman?
Thank Okay, I'm gonna concur, but stay away from the victim, okay?
Yes, sir.
First off, I think it's nothing but trouble for both of y'all. So y'all stay away from each other and, you spent a year in already, so my vote is also not to revoke. Thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Goods, this has been very complicated all the way around. You did plead to, you were found guilty of criminal activity, I'll say that. But I don't find that, Gigi's testimony at any point in this whole thing is credible. So I do agree with my colleagues. You've been in jail almost a year. So my vote is do not revoke. We'll issue you a reprimand and add the special conditions that Mr. Barra went over.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you to each board member for hearing us.
Thank you. Made it.
What a roller coaster revocation hearing. I mean, wow, from here to there. Like I said, it's like a Saturday night, I don't know, skit or something. We got all these characters. We got Little John, we got the attorney in the RV, the attorney at the location, Denisa, we got the agent, we got the couch. Of course, how could we forget the couch? We got the couch sitting there, and all I gotta say is that Little John, I don't know what he does for a living. They mentioned real estate in there for a second. I don't know what it is. At one point, obviously, it was dealing, right? That was his initial charge. But he should open up. He should open up a competition to Andrew Tate's Hustler Academy, because this man, he can teach someone a thing or two. I don't know how he does it. There are literally just women crawling to be with him, begging to be with him, pleading to be with him, just dying to be with him. Why? Like I said, he's got the milkshake that brings the girls to the yard, and I just don't. I don't know. Little John, you can be rich. Teach us your secrets. Not that I need it. I'm happily married, but I know that there are many that are watching this. I'm sure there's a room of incels that are watching this that are just tearing their hair out and saying, "Why, Little John, teach us." I'm gonna try to dissect this for you. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I listened to this, I think, 4 times. Then I listened to it on 2x speed or 3x speed at points, and then I stop it and I look and I have to edit the words, so I'm doing it again, and then I have to listen again. And I really tried to figure out what's going on here, and I think I understand it. But if I don't, you will correct me in the comment section. Now, I got to tell you, I'm doing all this on my birthday as well, which is crazy. I guess I'm a sadist. I do have fewer brain cells. I'll never get this time back, but this is what I do for the community, right? I mean, it's the sacrifices that I make. Oh, this is just crazy. On that note, thank you, Annan, for sending this hearing with the notes and saying, Mandoo, you got to cover this. And in addition, Nicole also sent an email about this hearing, and you guys weren't wrong. This is probably one of the longer revocation hearings that we've seen. We have seen revocation hearings where someone's life is on the line. They're backing a life sentence, and the hearing takes 8 minutes, 12 minutes. I mean, this was wow, how many attorneys can you have involved in one case? So let me just break this down to you, because I know many of you, your brains are probably spinning. You're doing 2 things at once. So what happens is that originally, this is my understanding, he gets locked up. He gets arrested in 2017. Okay. This is what gets him under parole. He's found, and this is really the funny part. I guess I could just screen share this with you. It's like criminals are not smart, at least the ones we see that are caught. Listen to this. Look how easily they got caught. This is 2017. Again, of course, it's two women that he's with. I mean, of course, why not? I mean, this is little John. He's got his. So they catch him with 20 pounds of the devil's lettuce. Now let's just. I'm just curious. What is 20 pounds of the devil's lettuce worth in 2018? What was 20 pounds of in Louisiana worth in 2017 street value? I'm asking Grok. I'm on Twitter if y'all want to give me a follow. Mandoo something. It's in the description. So an ounce was 115 grand of street value. So this is a lot of money, okay? So maybe he had some money, maybe he saved some money, maybe that's he bought real estate with it. I don't know. They did mention somewhere in real estate, but he's caught with a lot. Now was he actually going to get that much? He's probably going to wholesale it. Who knows? But it's a significant amount. Now, how the cops caught him is that there were two cars that were traveling together. Now, deputies stopped the first vehicle because the parking lot only driving with parking lights only on, not the headlights on, and another vehicle is following too closely to the first vehicle. So they approached the second vehicle, which is occupied by his love nest, the females. I'm just speculating on a situation like this. They detected a strong odor of burnt devil's lettuce coming from the vehicle. The deputy explained the reasons for the traffic stop. The driver identified and a computer check revealed that Carter had an expired driver's license. I mean, who's going to do a narcotic run, forget to put your lights on, and have an expired license? At the investigation continued, Carter gave the deputies consent to search the vehicle, which you should never do, but he was probably screwed no matter what. And in the trunk, a large compressed brick of devil. Like, why would you say sure check when you have in the trunk? I mean, I guess he assumed that he had to. No, there's not. It just doesn't make it. None of it makes sense. You gotta hope he needs to get a warrant, right? I mean, maybe he just knew the gig was up and he didn't care. He didn't want to go through the motions. Along with a 9-gallon size bag of suspected devil's lettuce were found and totaling over 20 pounds. Deputies contacted the driver of the vehicle, identified as John of blah, 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 and determined he was the actual registered owner of the vehicle being driven by Carter, transferring the devil's lettuce. During the search of the goods, he was found $4,460 in cash. All three subjects were taken into custody. So I guess he does the time for that. He gets paroled. And then when he's on parole, he gets picked up. December 11, 2024 is when he gets picked up for here. I'll just show you the article so we go through it. Man arrested in Mississippi. Here he is. So he's not little. He's 6 feet tall. So, it's kind of like the joke, the Robin Hood joke, right? Little John. And they made a traffic stop. They identified as John Henry Goods, Little John, and it was for aggravated Now, he's extradited back to Louisiana, and then that's when this roller coaster begins. Now, I got to tell you, I liked his attorney. I actually liked her. I liked the way that she showed up in person, that she, made the point, I'm here in person. They moved me into the RV. And I thought she was very passionate and she seemed genuine and she knew the case. She knew it. It wasn't like she was reading through notes. She knew it as well as anyone and kind of were just saying it as it was, very authentically. I thought she went to bat. I thought she went to bat for her client, and I actually think she did a good job. And the attorney who was there in person at the stage, I thought did a good job too, redirecting the witnesses, to the points and having to it was like herding kittens with the witnesses. So, okay, so what happens is it seems that Gigi falls head over heels for Little John. Who knows why? I don't. Again, it's his hustler, academy thing that he should be running. She's not head over heels over her at all. He's a player. We know of at least 5 times that she caught him cheating on him. She ends up, I guess, catching him in the house one more time. Then they make up, they make love. And then something happens which sets her off. These other ladies were were there might what's the actual truth? So these other ladies may or may not have been in the room when they made love. That part may or may not be true. I don't know, but the whole witness thing of them saying the dumbest things, like if you're dating, you can't essay someone, or if you're on top, you can't be, or there would have been a seaman in you if you would like no, those are you're not helping him right now. It's like all of these, it's like, and the attorneys have to just redirect and say no. Did you see, we're pulling here, or were there marks? And then, oh gosh, and they said, well, the marks from the rough sex, and that's how it got there. And I don't believe that he essayed her. I don't. I believe that, I mean, they have all the information drawn out. She was upset, which is crazy. He's going to meet someone who's like graduating college, becoming a nurse. And that's just so crazy. So she gets upset. She threatens that she's going to call the police. She ends up calling the police. Then when he gets arrested, she realizes like, I changed my mind. I don't really want to put him through this. She ends up getting brought to court Monday. She's under the belief, this is Gigi, that she's not going to have to testify. She is then called to testify and feels surprised and attacked and pressured at that point. And then she comes, says something completely different or something. And even here in the hearing, I mean, if you want to have empathy for her, what's going on is like, she feels like she's outnumbered. She's outnumbered by everybody, by 2 attorneys, by the witnesses, by little John. And she never, even though feeling attacked, she never goes to say, yes, he did this to me. But what the problem is, what she does is she gives these stories, this long-winded stories that never gets to the point. And it starts off with her life story, and she's raised by a grandmother, and she's going through a lot when her grandmother dies, and then she meets little John, and she has kids and he has kids, and she confided in him and fell in love with him, and then caught him cheating, and then because of that she felt hurt, but he never actually did hurt her. But she needs to make the point, the witnesses, what they're saying is not true. They weren't there. They didn't see it. They're making it up. That's the point she wanted to make. So she wants to get one over on them, or at least hold some type of integrity on that, but while at the same time explaining why she feels connected to little John, and but saying that little John didn't actually do those things to her. And I think the parole board did the right thing in this case. Now, they could have revoked him no matter what. They could have just revoked him. You're not allowed to be involved in criminal activity. That's the laws in Louisiana. They chose not to because of the time he spent in prison. But I got to tell you, if I'm little John, how can you not be just so pissed? You just spent 11 months in prison because, as was it Bridget, the attorney, said, a woman scorned. And what's that saying? There is no fire is hot or hell is hot or something as a woman scorns. Correct me in the comment section. And that's so true. But it's wrong. You know, it's wrong. I think a law needs to be put in place that if a woman lies, I mean, the laws do exist. You can't lie on a police report. You can't make a false police report. Those laws exist, but they're not enforced. And I think that what needs to happen is there needs to be a new legislation that is a specific law that is not a blanket law of lying on a police report or making a false statement or whatever. There needs to be a specific law around DV, where if someone claims that the person did the DV against them and takes it back at any point in time, that is a crime. At that point, they could be charged with the crime. And I'm not, and there will be two outcomes. There'll be an outcome where they're just lying because they're taking it back because they lied in the initial time, saying that he committed the crime, or they'll take it back because they made it up. Now, the outcome should be, I think it should be, look, you go to jail or you go to a program, a DV type program where you can, you know, hopefully get help and hear from other women who have survived DV, and then hopefully but the idea is that there's repercussions for your actions and you'll think twice before changing your mind. And, you know, I don't know, but it is crazy. I mean, it's crazy to think that someone could make it up, get someone locked up, and then show up and say I made it up and not have consequences. That's just weird, right? I mean, does he have a civil case against her? One would assume yes, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But the whole thing, it was just so. Tell me I got it right. I mean, tell me, guys, tell me if I followed that correctly. I think that's it. I think that's it for this case. I don't think there's anything more that I can add. So there you have it. Another crazy Louisiana revocation hearing. And Little John, if you're listening to this, I think you can make big bucks doing the whole Little John Hustler University thing. See if you can give it a go. There are a lot of people that probably want to know your magic. And with that, I'll let you go.
Baby, I'm sorry. We ain't doing that. We in the kitchen just talking. I said, Lil John, I don't believe you. And I said, the girl came to the living room. We back in the living room now. The girl came to the living room. Lil John just gonna take me home. I said, if he don't take you home, I'll take you home. I said, but you could just have a seat right here. I said, because I don't have anything to hide when I'm talking to him. So basically, he kept on saying, man, because I told him, I said, if you do not give me the answers that I want while you steady keep on doing this cheating and this having on women.
Did your